First of all praise to the Father Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakadash. Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers and sisters in recognition to observing this day for worship the Most High. Sundown this evening to sundown tomorrow evening, my people. Let's get some rest, worship, and praises in to the Father Yahweh. In Yahweh Shai's name, his mighty Son, because it is a commandment throughout all of our dwellings, and because he's more than worthy of such. That short clip that we just watched was an excavation of a giant femur that they found over in France. Okay, a giant femur. Okay, leg bone, thigh bone. Okay, 140 million years old. That's what they claim it to be. But they threw a little spin in on that particular finding, claiming that it is a dinosaur bone. I don't believe for 1 minute that it was a dinosaur bone. But what I do believe it was a finding, a remnant of a Nephilim bone, the giant femur of a Nephilim. Okay, a giant that once roamed the earth, that those wicked angels, fallen ones, came here and ensowed, in the earth through the daughters of men. That's what I do believe. Okay, as a matter of fact, now like this particular spirit of one right here, way back was hiding over across the street in my neighbor's yard. Here's the street sign right here. Okay, I'm gonna bring him in close. There's other ones, up here if you look around, but this particular one caught my eye, of course, because his eyes was lit up, mouth wide open, and this is exactly what the Book of Enoch describes about these things that once roamed the earth and devoured men, women, children, beasts of the field, fowls of the air, you name it. And the Most High brung a judgment against them, not only them, but their fathers, which were the fallen ones themselves, and also the mothers. Okay? Them women who dared to actually go against, defy what the Most High said not to do. So without further ado, what we're going to go is in the Book of Enoch. And take, 6 down to 16th chapter. But before we do, let's go over here. Let's see here. And 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4. And it reads, "For if Yahweh spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness, to be reserved unto judgment." What sin did they commit? Well, the Book of Enoch speaks all about it. They brung things up on this earth, and their descendants are still here and ruling as of to this day. Okay, and that's just what it is, people. You know what I mean? And the same things that these giants was doing, when the daughters of men and the fallen ones and the angels itself sold them, here's what their descendants are doing in these latter days. Okay, now we're in the Book of Enoch chapter 6, and it reads, "And it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children." Now, some of these names I ain't going to be able to pronounce, but I'm going to do the best I can. Asimjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, "I fear you will not indeed agree to do this deed and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. So these angels knew when they went into this that they were doing wrong. I've got to turn this music down. Okay? They knew that they were doing wrong. To continue, and they all answered him and said, let us all swear an oath and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swear they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were in all 200. It was 200 angels that came here and made this mess, okay? What we're dealing with to this day, who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders. Samlazaz, their leader, Arukabah, Ramiel, Kokobel, Tamliel, Ramlel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Barakel, and Azel, Amaros, Bartarel, Ananel, Zaquel, Samspil, Santero, Turiel, and Jamjil, Syriel. Okay? These are their chiefs of tens. All right. All those, it's 200 angels, so that wasn't 200 names, but nevertheless, them was the ones that they felt like they need to mention. Chapter 7 here, verse 1, and all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one. And they began to go unto them and to defile themselves with them, and they taught them charms and enchantments and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. That's herbs and stuff like that. And the cutting of roots, of course, voodoo, witchcraft, whatever you want to call it. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, okay, whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisition of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. Then the earth laid acquisition against the lawless ones. The lawless ones were, of course, the fallen angels and their children, which were the giants. Okay, these were monsters, and their spirits were every bit as evil as they were when they were in the flesh. Okay, that's what we're looking at. This is the reason why it's important for people not to play around with hoodoo and voodoo, because witchcraft and all that kind of stuff, because these spirits are behind that kind of stuff like that. Okay, the occult, whatever you want to call it, they are behind it. This is who people are serving and worshiping, to get some, back, something like, well, if I worship you, I want this to happen for me in my life. That's basically what it boils down to. Okay. Now, chapter 8, and Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of autonomy, and the beautifying of the eyelids. That's eyeshadows, ladies, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. And there arose much godliness, and they committed fornications. And they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Semjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Amaros, the resolving of enchantments. Barakal taught astrology. That's the horoscopes. You see where all these things come from. Kokobel, the constellations. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Arakel, the signs of the earth. Shemsal, the sun, well, the signs of the sun. Sariel, the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. Okay? This is what these angels did, and that's why I see people still worshiping this kind of stuff. So, like horoscopes, like Taurus, Gemini, whatever you want to call all that stuff like that. Pay it no mind, because this is where it all comes from. Okay? Chapter 9, verse 1. And then Michael, Uriel, and Raphael, these are angels, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. And they said one to another, the earth made without inhabitant cries the voice of their cryings up to the gates of heaven. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men make their suit, saying, bring our cause before the Most High, as Yahweh himself. And they said to the Lord, they said to the Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, God of the ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all the generations of and thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou, and all things are naked upon in thy sight, and thou seest all things, and nothing can hide himself or itself from thee. Thou seest what Azazel have done. That's one of the fallen angels. Azazel have done, who have taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the internal secrets which were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. And Simjaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates. And they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now, behold, the souls of those who have died are crying and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended, and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass, and thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them. And thou dost not say to us what we are to do to them in regard to these. Okay? This is what the angels went to the Most High and told him about. Okay? And the Most High answered them here in chapter 10, verse 1. Then said the Most High, the holy and great one spake, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, go to Noah and tell him, in my name hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. Okay? This is the great flood that the Most High decided to send to wipe out these monstrous giants. Okay? That's the reason why it said, basically everything's going to be the same way, you know, as it was in the days of Noah. You know, when the Hamashiach comes, it's going to be the same way. Okay? And that's what this is all leading up to now. Okay? Um, to continue here, and now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all generations of the world. And again, the Lord said to Raphael, bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness. Well, into, the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Dudel, and cast him therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face, that he may not see light. And on the day of the great judgment he shall be cast into the fire. And heal the earth, which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons. And the whole earth has been corrupted through through the works that were taught by Azazel. Okay. To him ascribe all sin, and to Gabriel said the Lord, proceed against the bastards and the reproach, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, the children of the watchers. These are the giants people from amongst men, and cause them to go forth, send them one against the other. They may destroy each other in battle. For the length of days shall they not have, and no request that they, their fathers, make of thee shall be granted unto their fathers on their behalf. Okay, so the angels wanted, mercy, and not to have their sons wiped out, be it in battle, against each other, like the Most High had them do, just like he's still having their descendants to do. This is the reason why, America, so-called Israel, and Iran is at battle now. See, this is all they know. The Most High has sent these angels to come upon these so-called people in these end times, just like he did their ancestors, the giants, and to destroy one another. That's what it all boils down to. Okay. Now, make these shall be granted unto their fathers on their behalf, for they hope to live an eternal life, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And the Lord said unto Michael, go bind Semjaza and his associates, who have united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanliness. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valley of the earth, till the day of their judgment and of their consummation, till the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated. In those days they shall be led off to the abyss of fire. These angels right here going to hell. Okay. And the kind of fire this is different from the fire here on this earth. All right. It's much worse. All right. It kills souls. All right. To continue. And to the torment and the prison in which they shall be confined forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with them. Okay, so well, let me finish. We bound together with them to the end of all generations, and destroyed all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of watchers, because they have wronged mankind, destroying all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end, and let the plant of the righteousness and truth appear, and it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in truth and joy forevermore. Okay, so for these people that want to follow and continually serve these monstrous things, you know what I mean, their spirits or whatever, you going to burn with them. Okay, it's all written right here. The book that was taken out, with their whole entire apocrypha from the Most High's word, because the enemy didn't want you to know who it comes from. All right. Verse 17, and then shall all the righteous escape, and shall live till they beget thousands of children, and all the days of their youth and their old age shall they complete in peace. And then shall the whole earth be tilled in righteousness, and shall all be planted with trees, and be full of blessings. And all desirable trees shall be planted on it, and they shall plant vines on it. And the vine which they plant thereon shall yield wine in abundance. And as for all the seed which is sown thereon, each measure of it shall bear 1,000, and each measure of olives shall yield 10 presses of oil. And cleanse thou the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godlessness, and all the uncleanliness that is wrought upon the earth. Destroy from off the earth, and all the children of men shall become righteous, and all nations shall offer adoration, and shall praise me, and all shall worship me, and the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment, and will never again send them upon it from generation to generation, forever. Okay, this is the day of the king, going to be in the kingdom. Okay, chapter 11, verse 1. And in those days I will open the store chambers of blessings, which are in the heaven, so as to send them down upon the earth over the work and labor of the children of men. And truth and peace shall be associated together throughout all the days of the earth, all the days of the world, and throughout all generations of men. Chapter 12. Let me see, getting a little late here. Verse 1. Behold, these things Enoch was hidden, and no one of the children of men knew where he was. Let me get this out of here. These pop-ups get on my nerve. Yeah, these things, and where he abode, they didn't know where he was hidden and where he abode. And he had become of him. And his activities had to do with the watchers. And his days were with the holy ones. And I, Enoch, was blessing the Lord of majesty and the King of the ages. And lo, the watchers called me Enoch the scribe, and said to me, Enoch, the scribe of righteousness, go declare to the watchers of the heavens, who have left the high places, the holy eternal, and have defiled themselves with women, and have done all the children of earth do. I have taken unto them, and have what? taken unto them themselves, that is, wives. Ye have wrought great destruction on earth, and and ye have no peace nor forgiveness of sin, in as so much as they delight themselves in their children. The murder of their beloved ones shall they see, and over the destruction of their children they shall lament, and shall make supplications unto eternity. But mercy and peace shall ye not attain. So these fallen angels ain't getting no peace. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting any peace. Now I'm really running out of time. I thought I would have enough time, but these chapters are long. But what it all boils down to, people, is it's a wrap for these fallen angels and uh, their offspring, which were the giants, and the descendants of their offsprings. Okay, because why? Here's the deal. Back in those days, those fallen angels, along with their offsprings, made it to where a lot of blood was spilled. And what does it say here in Numbers? Chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of blood, or of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of them that shed it. Okay? So we have the blood of these giants right here, which is the spirit, which they shed a lot of blood back in those days, and a lot of the people, in the spirit cried up to the Most High, you see, and petitioned, that something be done about it. And it's the same thing that's going to happen in these end times when it comes down to the enemy that's in rule right now. They going down to, and once that happens, that's when the kingdom comes in. The Most High is going to be the one that make all this stuff happen, and we have yet to see these things. Well, people, that's all I got on this particular lesson. I want you guys to tell me what you think of it in the comment section. I hope I said something to stimulate your spiritual growth. All praises and power to the Father Yahweh, Yahweh Shai name. People, please remember to live your life as though we're being watched, simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.